I want to show you now how to take up a pair of jeans. It's never going to look like how the factory did it, or the manufacturer, but it's going to be okay, and it's going to be better than folded or rolled up jeans, because I don't know, that I like my husband looking like he's got rolled up jeans when I can easily take them up. Okay, so what I've done is I put them on, I made him get into them, and then I measured where they were going to be taken up to, and I've put a little mark here into that line there where the pin is the finished length of the right length for him. From there, the next thing is you have to factor in a good hem size. So what I do is I always do everything by 1/2 inch or just 1.5 centimeters, and then what you need to do is to lay it out flat. That's my mark, so I'm going to take off that length of the rolled up bit of hem that's already there. So to do that, it's just a matter of cutting up to there and then cutting that bit off. And now I need my glasses. Where are my glasses? Because I don't want to muck this up. And then just quietly just going around, following the line that's already existing around there. You also need an iron, and you'll need your an iron plugged in. You need a hot iron, and you also need your machine threaded up with. Now I tried to find that colour there, but I couldn't get it. But I've got a brown, which I think will suffice for now anyway. Not that who looks at the hem anyway? Well, I won't. So that there has been cut off. They're the surplus bits. It's now a matter of, and there's my mark there, so I'm going to have enough for, well, a centimetre and then a bit more on top of that. So it's a matter of coming over to your iron. Just bring this around to here. And this is quite important that you do this. Right, there is your seam there, so just give that a wee iron there to make sure that that's nice and flat. That's that opening inside seam. And then it's just a matter of using your eyes as a gauge and going around, turning that over evenly all the way around. And by ironing it, what you're going to do is you're going to make that nice and flat. Keep going around until that whole bit is done. Nearly there. And if you're a bit sort of unsure as to whether you've got it right, you could make a little gauge, or you can buy the gauges that you can use. Right, once you've got round to where you started, it's just a matter of rolling that over that same length again and continuing around with your pressing. And honestly, the pressing is the most vital part. If you wanted to, and then once you've finished that, and I'll just keep going, but I think that those of you who have been following me in the sewing school will be getting very proficient at things like this. But this is such a good handy skill to have, because to take these to a seamstress or to find somebody to take the hem up for you can be quite expensive. Right, around to there, that's done. Okay, now the next thing is to go around to where you started, turning that again, and then this is where, you know how I feel about pinning, because sometimes because it's quite thick, that fabric, just making sure that that is even, and by pinning it, that'll just keep everything in place, because we don't want it to be moving. Now you're going to have that hunky bit there, so we'll just make sure that that is well down. See how it's sort of like starting to roll up? So if you do that now, then you're going to have a nice, neat, professional finish when you get around to the other side. Now it doesn't matter whether you're doing this for a pair of jeans, a pair of trousers, you might even have a shirt or a top that you want to take up. This is exactly the same method, as before. And then what I like to do is just check that I've got that all sorted out. And don't be tempted to think, oh, I'll just put the iron over that, because the pins, especially if you're using these pearl-headed pins or the plastic pins, you know what could happen, don't you? The iron, if it's too hot, will actually melt those. So that can go down to there. It's a matter of going over to your sewing machine, which is already threaded up. And the other thing I need to tell you is this is quite thick fabric that we're using, and it applies, you're going to have to apply a little bit of care. Okay, with glasses on, set your thread length to about 3.5, and starting at the open seam, which is right there, take that underneath and move it along. Hold on, let me just get a bit of neatness going here. Take that, so we don't want to start on that big knobby bit. We want to start around about here. So that's half an inch or just over a centimetre away from that pin there. Get my pins, put my pins into my pin cushion, take that up and around, and then gently take the needle down. Make sure that your threads are all neat around the back there, and then very, very slowly just go a few steps and then a few stitches and then back stitch it. And as I said, with care and slowly, because as I said, it's thick material jeans, and just keep winding your way around, stopping at the pins. I bet you're pleased I gave you that tip for those who have been at the summer school. Right, now we are getting to a very, very hunky thick bit, and this is when you're going to have to help your machine by just going along. Now it's a bit stuck there. See when it went like that? That means go with caution. See, it's still doing that. So when it does that, just lift and release, put your foot down, and then just give it a little pull. Phew! That could have been a broken needle then. We don't want one of those. And then just releasing that, turning that around, getting rid of that pin, proceeding along, getting rid of that. Now we are coming to an even thicker, clumpy bit. And that's this bit here. That bit there is very thick and clunky. So we're going to have, and we're nearly at the other end, so we're going to have to, with caution, and just give it a little tug as you go through. Take it down to where you started, back stitch, lift the foot, lift your needle out of the way, and then just pull that through like so. Cut off all of the unnecessary threads, because we don't want those, because we're very professional here at our sewing school. Get rid of those, and look at that. Done. As I said, it doesn't look like the manufacturers, but at least they are up, and we have a neat, even seam. And look at that, it's all connected. Plus we've gone over this, we've solved the issue with that hunky bit there and the hunky bit there, and now it's just a matter of going back to the iron and just giving that, what's happening here? Oh, whoops, one moment, well, it drops onto the floor. Going over to your iron and just ironing from the inside, just running around there and giving it, if you've got a steam on your iron, just give that a wee steam too. You get your that seam all nicely flattened, and there we have your jeans taken up. And the other thing you could do, if you had a bit of pumice or some some sandpaper, you could give that a sand so that you achieved what the manufacturer did. But look, I don't think that it really matters. Cut rid of all those wee threads. I don't like those threads there. So there we have how to take up a pair of jeans, how to take up a skirt, how to take up a top. Always use the same principle and it's perfect. The other thing that you can do if you're a little bit, you haven't got enough to take that up, you could do a zigzag and then just do one turnover. But I like to do it like that, and look, there they are, they're done, and it took me, what, all of 5 minutes. So I hope I've been of assistance, and I look forward to seeing you all again the next time we meet here at the Sewing School. See you again.